Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing my out-of-box review for the HG, the Origin MSD Gundam Local Type. First off, a big thank you to MindFenix Hobby Store for sending me this kit to share with you guys. As always, please go ahead and check out their site if you're living in Australia and support them. Now, what you're going to notice right off the bat is that, unlike usual, I have actually applied all of the stickers to this kit, and not only that, but I've also done all the panel lining on this kit. All the panel lining on the blue parts I've done using black. All the panel lining on the white parts I've done using gray, Tamiya panel line accent color, just washed in there. Very simple, very quick. There's a lot of really nice details on this kit, and I just kind of wanted to show that off. I thought if I'm going to be going through the trouble of putting all the stickers on, might as well do the panel lining as well, just to give you guys a nice look at the kit. I really quite like this kit, but as you know, the one thing that I've been so perplexed about with this kit is the price. Now, the list price for this kit is 2,000 yen, which I was totally perplexed about. I couldn't understand why this was listed at 2,000 yen for the price tag, and now that I've built it and am checking it out, I still have no idea why it's that expensive. Yeah, we'll come back to that in a little bit, but let's just give a look around this kit first. The kit, it looks really nice, just out of box with all the stickers. Like I said, stickers on there, just do a little panel lining, and it's going to look really, really good. The stickers, as I've said before, the reason I don't like using stickers is because you can see the edge around them. Now, one way to get around that is to cut the stickers more closely so they're not just on like a square piece of sticker there that you can see the edges of. That is one way, but with this kit, the one reason why the stickers are, I think, passable in this case is that most of the stickers are on white areas, and when you put the stickers on an area that's white, you're not going to see that edge nearly as much as if it's on any other color. Now, there are a number of stickers on the dark blue parts, and you definitely can see the outline of those stickers, so those are going to stick out, I think, but everything else that's on the white parts of plastic does look pretty good. So yeah, I think that works out pretty well, and you can see there's a lot of nice stickers on the front of the shield as well, which we'll look at here in just a moment. Otherwise, the articulation and just the construction of the kit in general is going to be very familiar. It's just a kind of very typical 1/44 scale Gundam style construction there, so nothing really going to be too crazy in terms of the gimmicks and all of that built into it. One thing that is kind of disappointing is that the ankle armor is just molded into the leg, so there's no articulation in the ankle armor at all. Ankle armor articulation is never like really that exciting, but it's just the fact that you have that just kind of there, looks kind of bad. I don't know, it doesn't look that great. But that's only really if you're going to notice that, and you're probably not going to notice it all that much, to be honest. Overall, just going to be very RX-78-02 similar. That to what I want to say is just going to look very similar to the RX-78-02, of course. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at this kit here, and we'll give you a look at all these details. So up close there, you can see that clear red piece there for the visor, and you can see the eyes back behind there. You have a couple different options for the stickers, how you want to do that with those parts in there, but I think it works pretty well. You can actually see the eyes pretty well behind that clear red part, so that's good. You can see stickers on there, a bunch of like these really tiny stickers, including a really tiny sticker on the red part on the top of the head. On the back of the head, there's like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little tiny red stickers there just on the back of the head that you need to put. Those are all separate stickers there. Then here on the backpack, you can see there's some stickers on there. These parts of the backpack will move up and down together. The head itself will just move like a typical HG. It'll go up about that far, down about that far, and do a lot of that. Shoulder is going to come up nice and far. We have the polycap in there that's going to be swinging up to give you a nice far bend up. The shoulder armor is kind of sandwiched around this part in the arm, so you are able to move the shoulder armor up separately and then move the arm up, but only to about there. You're going to have some rotation in the arm, of course, a nice double joint there in the elbow that will give you a full bend at the elbow. Very nice articulation there. You can see we have our two beam saber handles here mounted onto the side of the arm. That is one option. You have the option of mounting them in the shield as well. We'll take a look at that. So that is probably the ideal way, but without the shield you can also mount them onto the arm. Here in the waist, you can see we're going to have a nice bend. There's a couple points of articulation, and it feels kind of sticky. Like I've mentioned with the HG, the Origin Zaku kits, when you bend them forward, you get a nice bend forward, but then when you try to bend it back, it sometimes gets stuck there in this part here in the back, this like stomach part and the main part of the torso. So just be a little bit careful about that. So you can see you get a nice little stomach crunch there, a little bit, not a whole lot. So side to side, it's going to be kind of not much. It's basically just a point there inside that's going to give you a point of articulation. Not bad. And then the front skirts are connected, but you can of course snip those apart to let them move separately. We have a yellow sticker here for the little V on the front that I feel like I'm probably going to rub off if I keep touching that accidentally. But there's that. Again, it would have been nice if that was a molded detail like of the inner part that pokes through, just so at least painting that would be easier, but unfortunately it's not. The side skirt's going to move up and down. We can see there is what looks like an attachment point for ammunition that probably some later version of this mold is going to include. In this case, that's not useful for anything. Back skirts are just fixed there with this whole back piece. Legs are going to rotate at the top. Going to get a nice double joint here in the knee to give you a really nice full bend there at the knee. And again, here's where that ankle armor is just affixed there with the lower leg, but the ankle itself is going to move side to side a little bit, front like that, pretty far, back like that. But just overall, these feet are pretty ugly, I think, to be honest. We have a couple decal stickers on there as well. So yeah, mostly the articulation is really nice. Yeah, there's just a few points that, like what I mentioned about the feet, that's just a personal preference thing. I think they just look kind of ugly. Then our accessories for this kit with the beam saber handles, we have two clear pink beam saber effect parts. We have a trigger finger hand, which I have here attached onto the rifle already. Here is the rifle, which I have done some panel lining on this one as well, just using black. The secondary handle folds out to the side. The back of the rifle does fold back like that. This is the same rifle that was included with the P-Bandai prototype goof, so I've already reviewed that before. No sticker for the camera on that, which you can see from the manual is supposed to be pink. It would have been nice to have a foil sticker there for that camera, but unfortunately it was not included with this kit. So that's nice and basic there for the most part. We have our shield, which, if I'll remove that correctly here, is supposed to look like this. A few stickers there on the front to make this look pretty nice there. On the back, we have this part here. The beam sabers will be moved to here on the shield. We have this nice gimmick built in. Need to rotate that. We can pull this part down like this. Rotate that back around again. And then there we can use this as like a stand. Makes the shield sort of like a tripod, and then the shield can just like stand on its own. You can try to hide this huge Gundam behind this tiny shield if you need some extra cover or something. Not sure how well that's going to work, but it's a cool gimmick built into the shield, that's for sure. So when you want to mount this onto the arm, what you need to do is just remove these beam saber handles, attach these into the shield, and then just snap this onto the arm where those beam saber handles were, and then there you go. That's it. When the rifle is not in use, there's no place to plug this onto the back skirt or anything like that, unfortunately, so it's just kind of nothing to do with that. All you have to do is just change out the hand, and there you go, like that. Now for a comparison here, I want to compare it with the HGUC Revive RX-78-02 Gundam. It seems like a kind of a comparison that makes sense, and you guys know I love this kit, so I just like to compare stuff to it. And yeah, now is when I want to come back to the price of this kit, because the Revive RX-78-02 is list price at 1,000 yen. The Gundam Local Type here is list price at 2,000 yen. Now obviously the Gundam Local Type has a lot more details in it, but that really shouldn't figure in too much into the actual cost. Of course it's going to cost a little bit more to make those molds more detailed, but really shouldn't be all too much. Of course it has a lot more stickers. We have all these little stickers that are going to go onto it, but again, that shouldn't add too much to the cost. On the flip side, the RX-78-02 Gundam has the inclusion of open hands, which the Local Type does not have. It also includes the bazooka, which the Local Type does not have. And yeah, so I think there's kind of, not pros and cons, but there's pluses and minuses on both sides that can kind of figure into the cost of this, but I really still just don't quite understand how it costs twice as much. If it was, you know, I can understand the local type being 14 or even 1,600 yen, 1,600 yen, maybe maximum, but 2,000 yen, I still am just totally perplexed at why it's that much more. Now again, not sure how much extra cover this tiny shield is really going to give you in a battle, but it's a cool thing built into the kit, I gotta be honest. It looks really cool, and the kit is able to kneel down surprisingly really well, actually. Now kneeling is something that Bandai introduced back in, I think, 2001, I want to say, or 2001 or 2003. 2001, I think, when the Master Grade Ground Gundam, GM, and EZ-8 came out, and they were all kind of like basically the same kit with some parts changed. And those Master Grade kits were kind of like the first kits that Bandai really promoted as like being able to kneel, and that was like a big thing at the time. And they kind of did. It didn't really look well. And kits, even still way after that, now that we have kits where the articulation and engineering is just so much better even than then, they still don't really look that good kneeling. This one, I gotta say though, does look pretty good. And a lot of that is just due to the articulation of the legs, but also the articulation of the stomach and everything. The stomach crunch there really helps in this pose, I gotta say. So I think if you wanted a kit to be kneeling, this is definitely one of the best ones I think that I've ever seen. So that's pretty cool. So when you've got the beam saber handles attached on the inside of the shield, they're supposed to be pointed up, but of course you have the option of pointing them down and attaching the beam saber effect parts, and you're able to do something like this. You can also do this while the beam saber handles are just attached onto the arm without the shield. So it's a really cool thing that you can do, having just two beam sabers like that you're basically using for like this beam saber spear thing with the both of them. And it's cool that you get the long type beam saber effect parts. In 1/44 scale, Bandai kind of has two different standard pink beam saber effect parts, a shorter version, a longer version, so it's nice to have the longer version in this case. And yeah, if you guys have seen my review of the Revive RX-78-02 Gundam, you'll remember maybe that one of the reasons why I absolutely loved that kit is how fluid it is in terms of just posing it. It's really easy to pose, and it's really easy to get it in some really awesome poses. And I have to say that is very much true for this kit as well. Posing this kit is super fun. It's really easy to get some really awesome poses out of this kit, like this for example, not to toot my own horn there, but you can get some really amazing poses out of this kit very, very easily, and it's very stable. I'm not having any weight issues at all. With doing this, I did have the arm with the shield on it drooping down a little bit, but you just kind of have to work it in there, and it's perfectly fine, I think. So gotta say, really, really loving this kit. So as you can see here, no problem for this kit to pull off the classic Ale Strike pose here. And one thing that I did forget to mention when talking about the articulation, and definitely one thing that helps with the kneeling pose before, is the fact that the hip joint is able to swing forward and back. The hips together will move to a kind of forward or back position. That definitely helps for bringing the legs up forward like this. And so when you want to do a pose like with the kneeling, you need to bring one leg obviously up for the higher leg of the kneel pose. I don't really know how to explain that, but you guys know what I mean. So yeah, that definitely helps with that. So overall, really fantastic kit. It has all the makings of being probably one of my favorite kits of the year so far. I think it might make it in. I don't know, we still have half the year left, but this is definitely a really fun kit to work with. In terms of like accessories and stuff, it's pretty bare. I mean, it's two beam sabers, a shield, and a rifle. You know, it's not much, but it's a really, really nice kit. It looks great. It definitely has that sort of like old school, just MSV kind of feel to it, just in its design. And speaking of which, we have the different version of this, or the different version of using this mold. We're going to be getting the Gundam, the waterproof Gundam out in the P Bandai. I definitely will be getting that, and so I'll get that kit and review that kit for you guys. Probably have that in a few months, so when that kit's out, I'll review that. And what I want to say is that I believe that is probably not going to be the last time we're going to be seeing this Gundam, obviously in different forms, but I believe we'll probably get some other HG release of this in different form, whether it be a P Bandai kit or a standard release, I don't know. But just the way that it's molded, it definitely indicates that we're probably going to be getting some different versions using different parts of the mold. The chest was one part that was very obvious, and we can see that with the water Gundam. Those parts of the chest are being used for the waterproof Gundam. You can see that shield mount point there on the side of the arm. That is not used at all for this, but that could certainly be used for something else. So there's indicators here and there that this mold may be used for different things in the future, and honestly I hope it is, because it's a really nice kit. The waterproof Gundam is sure to be a really great kit as well. Definitely looking forward to getting that. It's very interesting. So yeah, still don't know why it costs 2,000 yen, but I'd say it's probably worth it just because of how nice of a kit it is. But you have to be a fan of the look. If you're just not really a fan of this kind of like just basic kind of Gundam type robot, then, you know, maybe just pass it up, I guess, because it will probably cost you more than it's really worth for you. But if you think it looks cool, then, you know, bite the bullet on the price and just buy it, because it is a really nice kit to work with. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other questions or comments, leave those down below. Yeah, great kit. Go out and check it out. See you guys next time. Bye bye.